you by showing you how I download images, and then I'll start building the website. So what I do generally is go to Google, especially for these type of assignments. They're not, I don't need to find royalty-free images or buy them, because we're not posting this. We're not trying to get work. It's just student work, and there's, it's basically in the art department, I think of it as drawing on like newsprint paper, which is gonna break down in just a couple years anyway, and then you throw it out. So it's nothing to save. This is just practice. So I would go to google.com, and then let's see, and then I would go to, I just do a search for, let's see, Redwood National Park. Say if I'm looking for images on that, I'll go to images, and then I'll go to tools, and I'm going to probably look at large images. And let's say I found a really nice one right here. Oh no, actually this one looks great right here. I love that. And I mouse, if it'll show a larger display once you click on it once here. And if you mouse over it, you can see the size. The size is right here. And this is quite a large image, 2100 by 1195. So I'm going to right click on that and choose Save Image As. And then I can pick where I want it. I've already navigated to this spot, and I've been saving images there. So this is a Redwood National Park image, and I'm just going to put 2 next to it to distinguish from my other Redwood National Park JPEG file, and choose Save. So that's how I collect my images, especially for this assignment. Okay. Okay, so now, and you know what? I have to back up. I'm going to remove a couple of these artboards so we're on the same page. Yeah, so let me do that. Okay, this is what it would look like if we just had one page up. All right, so what my goal here is I want to build this page, but just build the features that I would use on my other pages. So reoccurring features like logo and name of site and menu, and if there's any footer information, stuff like that. And if there's a background color, that type of thing. Okay, so I'm just going to start, I guess. So I think I've noticed my researched files do have that. Now if I haven't talked about type, I'm going to do that real quick. There's 2 kinds of type. One is point type, and that's where you click on it and begin typing. National Park Service. And then the other one is an area type, where instead of just clicking once, you click and drag. And then what happens, Illustrator fills this in with lorem ipsum. And those are the first 2 words of the stuff it fills in, but so it does make it kind of useful. But what designers use lorem ipsum for is basically filler type. So if I'm designing a page and the copywriter hasn't given me the type yet, I'm going to use lorem ipsum to fill in where the type goes. And let's say I want more filled in here. I extended my paragraph. I want more filled in. So I'm going to go up to type and then fill with placeholder text. And that's essentially what it is placeholder text. Okay. So that's it. Click and type. Now, one thing about this point type is that it doesn't really ever return, where if you were to type in an area type, once it hits the edge here, it'll return. Okay. And I can resize this and it will follow to the shape of the of the rectangle that I've made. Now, one couple differences between the area type and the point type is the point type can be rotated. Okay, the area type, the box can be rotated, but the type does not rotate unless you do some different things with it. Yeah, I mean, you got to be real specific. But it is all live type, and that's nice because it's always editable until you do this specific thing, which is go to type and choose create outlines, or you can convert to point type. But if you do create outlines, what happens is let me just show you. If I have a big letter here, like an X, and I'll make it huge. So it's editable, right? But if I select it with this blue underline, and then I choose object, type, create outlines, it changes into vector, meaning with anchors and handles. So it's actually really fantastic to have this capability, because now it's a shape that you can edit. And yeah, so anyway, a few things about type there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is move this National Park Service probably in here somewhere, probably change it white so we can see it. I'm going to go File, Place, and then I'll go grab, oops. I have the National Park logo. Now this is a PNG, which means there's transparency around the edge, or at least it supports transparency. So you can kind of see what's going on. See, like when I go behind it, it's not a white box. It's actually just the shape of the logo, which is kind of great. Okay, and I might move that over just to make a little more room for it. In fact, I might increase the size. To increase type, you could go to Properties, and then here's the character. It's basically the character palette inside Properties, and here's how you'd increase the type. And then if I want to decrease this, I'll click it and drag it. And I do like it against, this edge, because it's kind of keeps to the grid a bit. And so does that. So I'm going to kind of leave those there so they stay on the grid. Over here, I'm going to do a 3-bar menu. So let's see, I'll put one right on that, and I'm going to increase the stroke by a bit. Okay, and then I'm going to just duplicate that down and then Control D to do it again. I'll select all 3 of those, and then I'm going to move them up a bit. Let me just take a look. Yeah, that looks okay. I might reduce that width a bit. So there's my menu. And then I'm going to do a little search. I'm going to draw a little magnifying glass. So I'll get an ellipse and draw a circle. And now it just happened to be that these lines were the same color and width as that. So it came out just how I wanted it, which was actually by accident. And then I'll draw a handle. To me, that looks good. What I'm going to do is group these two, the circle, hold down Shift, and then grab the handle, and then do a object group, which is a Control G. Go up to Object in the menu and choose Group. Now I can select these and move them around. I might put this off to the side and maybe move it out a little bit. And do Control 0 so I can see the whole thing at one time. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. Let me just rotate it just a bit more. One thing I did not do and would like to is move all of this up to a new layer. So right now I have a guides layer. I made a couple others, so this shape here, I want to move up. I'm going to call that like a background. And then the other bits, which are these, I'm going to put those on a new one called type and logo layer. And then if we were to see everything, now it's like kind of separated nicely. I may put a background color on this, perhaps. So I just drew a big rectangle. I might do it this like a soft yellow or like a warm yellow type thing. Make sure it's on the correct layer. Oh, it's locked. Drag that down. Okay. And you can see it's on the, it went behind this logo, which is just what I wanted. That's really all that, that's what I want reoccurring from page to page. So what I'll do at this point is get my artboards, and this is an artboard. It looks like it's a page in Illustrator, but Illustrator calls it an artboard. So I'm going to duplicate that. So I'll highlight it, use this little menu up here and choose duplicate, and then I'll do it again, duplicate. So now I have my 3 pages, and they're ready to get filled in. Now, one thing I want to make sure is that my guides are showing. I'm going to do a command or control semicolon. Yeah, that didn't duplicate. So I'm going to control Z those, and then I'll do that again. So window artboard, and then I'm going to make sure these are, unlocked. Okay, and then I'm going to delete this up here because I do not need that. Well, I'm going to leave that alone. I'll use it later on. I'm going to duplicate that. So duplicate. Yeah, okay, that's what I want. Duplicate. Okay, great. Now I'm ready to start building this. So this one is my home page. This is kind of the fun part, but notice there's a lot of background. There's a lot of work getting to the fun part. So we did thumbnails, we did research. There's other things that you can do that will help this design be more successful. We made a grid. And now we're going to start applying images and type onto this using the grid, and it will make it just super easy. So I'm going to File, Place, and I'm going to my all the images that I've downloaded. I'm going to grab this redwood, and I'm going to put that in this will be my big hero image on my homepage, and I placed it right behind this background. I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to move that up to this type and logo layer, and then I'm going to be cutting it off here and here. So I'm going to move this around to see where it really makes sense a bit. It feels about right, kind of actually about there to me. So I'm going to crop it. Choose crop up here. If you don't see it up here, and if you have properties open, crop is also available here. So yeah, so then what you do is you grab these little handles and then just move them to where you want your image cropped to, and then you can choose apply, or you can go in here and choose apply. Okay. So that's the image in there. Looks great. You know what I may do is put one more layer here and call it photos. And maybe I'm getting a little bit too layer happy, but I do want to make sure that this logo sits on top of that, and that I just don't have any issues. I just want a little bit, issue free is what I want. I'm going to do something a little different on those secondary pages. Here, I'm going to place some more images. File, place. And I'm going to get some more redwood images. So here's a one to do, which is camping. I'm going to choose place. And this image is going to go off the page a bit, like beyond the fold of the page. So we're just going to design to the fold. So I'm going to leave that there. In fact, I might crop it just to here, so it's not confusing to everyone what's going on. This is a crop. This is the next images coming up. Yeah, we'll see. I may have another solution to that. So I'll put another image in here, place, and this will be to do 2, which is hiking. And we'll put that right here. Okay. And then I'm going to crop that image. Yeah, let's see. I need to move that all the way over to that point. That's great. I'm going to crop it again. Okay. And then to the bottom of the page, yes. Okay. So lastly, I think I'm going to, I think what I may do is just move these down to here and then put some type up here. So, and I'm going to use a similar font and as this. So it'll probably be in that same family. So I'm just pulling from testing out different colors. So this is that deep red, and now I'm choosing that brighter red. I actually kind of like this. I think that's a nice one. I do want to make sure that sets a little better into the corners, and that of my grid, and that this also sets into the corner. So, and this one I'm going to rename to something like reserve a campsite. And then the next one we'll do is hike the redwoods. And I want to make sure this whole image it's not setting in there terribly well right now. And I'm going to kind of stretch that out a bit. There we go. Okay. Not stretch it, just enlarge it, just a slight hair. Okay, so here's reserved campsite, hike the redwoods. I might reduce those a little bit so they're, yeah, and then because this one I want to be kind of like a little bit more of a major headline. And if I don't know what to write, what I'm going to do is probably go to just National Park Service, redwoods, and I'll just see what they have there. I mean, things to do might be really a good one. And I might even copy this text out. And I'll go in here. And this one I'm going to title things to do. And I'll make this one a little bit stronger, like a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to put my type in here, paste it, and then I'll just reduce the size of it a bit. And to reduce that size, oops. Now I'm going to see how that looks. It might be way too small. No, it's not. It's not at all. It looks good. But they're a little too close, so I'm going to just space those out so we can see what exactly, and then I'm going to change that because it's a different, I might make that a little bit more bold, something like that, and then maybe change the color. And then we'll hide that just to kind of see how things look. I don't love it, but it's something. It's something. Okay, I might just move these back up, and then take this type and move it away from the edge, and then change that to white. And one thing we can do in here is go to my properties, and there's effects, and I'll just choose like drop shadow because these are really hard to read right now. Stylize drop shadow. So here's our drop shadow, and it's on preview. So I'm going to darken this a bit, and I'm going to keep this a little bit closer to, yeah, now you can see it's kind of getting a little, do you see it now? So the drop shadow on it, but as you blur it, it gets harder to read, but it makes it pretty nice to read some of this type on light and dark areas. Okay, so now I think that's looking a lot better. Let me try hiding that. Yeah, that's looking okay. That's looking all right. Cool. Okay, so that is my home page. And then we'll just keep going on these secondary pages. So this one I'm going to feature one national park, the Joshua Tree National Park. And this one I'm going to feature the Channel Islands. So these two should be kind of similar. This is the home page, so it's quite different. Okay, so I'm going to do file, save. Oh, well, no, I'm not going to do a save as right now. File, place. And I'm going to go grab the Channel Islands main image that I saved. And then I'm going to turn on my guides, and I'll put that. So I think I'm going to give a little space up here so I can actually put a title of like where they're at. And this will change, like I might put Channel Islands right here. So then I'll put a guide across here. So like my next page, or if I do any subsequent pages, they'll be on the same level. Okay, so let me make sure I'm all set. I know this is a little bit big and goofy right here. Okay, let's check this other side. Yeah, that looks all right. Okay, and then I am going to put, I mean, like I said, I'll put in here, I'm duplicating this, and I'm going to probably make it kind of dark. And I'll reduce it so it fits in the area nicely. And I'm going to probably like thicken it just a little bit, like a semi-bold. And I might, so they kind of have to look good or kind of relate to one another. And I actually think something like some little symbol to kind of like inset it. So it is National Park Service, but this is a subset. So I might do something, and this might be weird, but something like that. Space that out a bit. And I might just lighten that up a hair. Maybe light. And put a little more space in there. So it's like 4 dots. And then I'll put that just something like that. I may look at that and go, oh, I hate that. So, but we'll try it out like this. Okay, so now we go, okay, so we're at Channel Islands National Park. And now I want to put like some stuff in here. I'm going to go to this page and choose, you know, instead of Redwood National Park, we'll do Channel Islands National Park. Oh, hey, look at that. That looks familiar. So there's always like plan your visit and protect the park, share your photos. So I might do those three. Plan your visit, protect the park, share your photos. And to keep things kind of the same, I'm going to use the same type. Just going to duplicate it over here. Plan your visit. And then the color probably is going to be something like this. But notice the drop shadow sure doesn't work now. It works good against a photo, but not here. So I want to get rid of that. And then how I actually do that is, here's the drop shadow. So it's selected, right? You can see drop shadow in my fill, but I can just choose the trash can and it will get rid of it. And I think that is going to be enough for me. Plan your visit. What else? I totally talk too much. Protect your park, share your photos. And these got to come down in size, obviously. They're just too much. And share your photos. Yeah, so see how I'm sticking off right here, so sticking out of my grid. So I might want to adjust, we'll see. Let's see, I'm going to use and I'm going to pull that type down to here, and then I need to look like I'm going to start typing, and then I'll choose type, fill with placeholder type. Yeah. And then I'll just like duplicate this over. But you know what? I'm not loving how packed type this is. It looks kind of awful. And I think this is set in a light right now, and I don't want that. I want normal or regular. So yeah, not terribly happy with it exactly now. So I'm gonna probably put a photo to the left of each one of these. Hopefully. Let's see if I can see how that works out. So two with a photo. Okay, now we're kind of there. So if I put a photo here, here, and here, that's kind of what we're after. So I'm going to do File, Place, and I'll go get Channel Island to do. So there's one of them, and yeah, and then I'll crop it. And you know what I may do? I mean, grids honestly are not like the end all have to. I'm gonna move this in a little bit because I feel like that these need to stick together a little bit more. If this were all the way out, it would look crazy to have a picture so close to it. So I'm gonna just move that in a hair. I may change that later on. So I'm going to go get another picture, which is Channel Islands, to do 2. And I'll put that in here. It's a nice photo. I really want to kind of show the whole thing. You know what? I think I could maybe a little bit more than I am now. Something like that might be nice. So then I'm going to crop this, and that's where my photo will start, and this is where it will end here. And I'll choose apply. Okay, and then I'm going to do something like that here. I'm actually going to put that in again. So file place, to do crop. Okay, that's all right. So do you see what my concern is? If it was all the way here, it would look maybe a little bit like pushing against that. And what I want this to do is to feel like these two are connected and these two are connected. So that's my goal here. And I need to do one more with share your photos, and I might just do a quick Google search on Channel Islands National Park photo image tool. That's really nice. Yeah, that would be a good photo to share, right? So I'm going to save image as, and I'll save it in here. And this, I'm going to do Channel Island to do 3, just to keep my naming in line. And then file place, and there's my 3. Bring up my grids again. Go to there. Yeah, let's do that. So then I'm going to crop it, and we're going to crop to here, and then crop to here, and apply that. Okay, so something like that. I don't know. This is not like end all exactly wonderful. It's okay. It's just like anyway, whatever. I'm okay with it. It's not like fantastic, but it's something. Okay. All right. So what I can do here is just duplicate all of this here. Oops, not that. Not that. Yeah. So, and I can duplicate that over. So if I just slide it over, because these pages should be built very, very similarly, right? So yeah, the Channel Islands page, I mean, just the layout, the grid is going to look kind of the same. So here we'll just go, you know, file place, and then we're going to go to the Joshua Tree main image this time. And I'm going to place that in here. Same width. It's going to go from, oops, it's going to go roughly from this line to that line, and so I want to adjust this so I get the best bang for my buck out of here, so it looks great. Crop it. We'll go from that corner to this corner and apply. I could have done a little better with that, I think. Let me try that. Crop. So we'll go from this corner to that corner and then apply. Well, it's not a great image, but instead of Channel Islands, this is, what is it, Joshua Tree. I think it's Joshua Tree National Park. And then we would replace these images, same kind of thing. So hopefully that kind of explains what's happening. Just FYI, I do have guides, which can be, they're on this layer, background images or background colors, and then photos. Oh, I didn't move, not all my photos are on the right layer. And then type and logo are on another layer. So yeah, that's kind of how I have it laid out. You can do it differently, but hopefully this explains what's going on with this whole thing. Thanks, guys.